as you know, ain't nothing new under the sun, right? So we're gonna hop right to it because I got something I want y'all to check out.
Fits into our criteria of small business owners, not those who make 200,000 and above. We don't make that much amount, and we have been suffering since the crisis of ICE. We also demand an immediate help to evictions so families are not pushed to homelessness during the crisis. Our community deserves accountability. Our community deserves safety. We need also justice for those who lost their lives defending the community.
So, right? Matter of fact, you know what? Nah, fuck it, we'll go. So check it, right? Y'all see what's happening? And, I always talk about them playing in our faces, right? So now they're not asking, they are demanding reparations from the United States government and its people, or her people, which means that tax-paying citizens, if approved, and to be honest with you, I wouldn't be shocked if they get it, because as we know, during COVID, even though Democrats say that they can't do anything for a specific group, there was an Asian hate bill. And I'm not knocking it. Hey, if they felt it was needed and they approved it because they felt like a certain specific group was under attack and they needed certain protection, so they created a Asian hate bill with reparation monies attached to it, then hey, just like with DACA, when the big-eared Kenyan was in office, right? And they knew all the illegals was here. Instead of sending them home then, what'd they do? We're going to give you a pass to citizenship. We see how that turned out, right? But he did it for a specific group. Now, the Emancipation Proclamation, it was outlined in there, 40 acres and a mule, never delivered. And that was 1865. Well, the NAACP was established in 1909. By who? A whole bunch of Capri Suns and a couple of Negroes. We'll see how that turned out, because this is the same NAACP collection of punks, the clown posse, are telling you to dry ice and go out and protest for people who are here illegally, which is against the law, right? But they still ain't did anything for the number one group that even made them an organization or an entity in the first place, because from 1865 to 2026, they still have done nothing to get that 48 acres and a mule outlined in the document, the Emancipation Proclamation, delivered to its people, which means it's been sitting somewhere just compounding interest. Diabolical to me, but hey, it's the NAACP. You know how they are. All of them. Al Sharpton, the late Jesse, which I'm going to get to that in another video, because we're going to talk about what his peers really thought about him. But yeah, this is where we're at. Now they're demanding reparations because allegedly they were defrauding the American people, in which money has been tracked to, what was it, Al-Shabaab or whatever. But I mean, we know what's been going on. And what I find odd is that they're pretty much asking for just about the amount of money that they steak. But yeah. So we'll leave that there, because I can go on with this shit for days, but just peep the play. Now I want to get on to this.
Attorney General Mary Fry and law enforcement officials about increasing coordination in a lawful way between the county jails and ICE to avoid public safety threats being released back in the community. While we had our differences, one thing was clear: we all committed to public safety for all who live in the Twin Cities. We have made significant progress under the direction of President Trump, working with state and local officials here in Minnesota, and I expect that to increase in the coming weeks. We continue to have discussions. I'll have discussions this afternoon. We currently have an unprecedented number of counties communicating with us now and allowing ICE to take custody of illegal aliens before they hit the streets. Unprecedented cooperation. And I'll say it again. This is efficient, requires only 1 or 2 officers to assume custody of a criminal alien target rather than 8 or 10 officers going into the community and arresting that public safety threat. This frees up more officers to arrest or remove criminal aliens. More officers taking custody of criminal aliens directly from the jails means less officers on the street doing criminal operations. This is smart law enforcement, not less law enforcement. It's safer for the community, safer for the officers, and safer for the alien. This coordination also makes it far more safe for the Twin Cities.
All right, so what exactly does this mean, right? Because as you all know, pardon me, I live in New York City, a sanctuary city, right? Nothing that any of us voted for, but it was pushed upon us by our Democratic handlers. Oh, Hochul, treacherous. But yeah, anyways, so all of these Democratic metropolitan plantations are all sanctuary cities. And there was no vote, or the people in these cities were asked whether or not they wanted to be host cities and pay for the food, shelter, clothing, medical bills, and everything else that it comes with taking in fleers of home, or as they call it, economic migrants, because they're claiming asylum. But I can go on for days and days and days showing you receipts of these individuals bragging about how they got here and showing off all the money and shit that they got where they were living in luxury hotels. Thousands of dollars a month off the taxpayers. This is where we're at with it. But what I found really odd about that is that all of them, the Adams, the Hochuls, the mayor of the Twin Cities, all got on stage in front of their constituency and talked big shit. Oh, no, we're not going to do it. We're not going to let ICE come in here. We're going to tell them to politely fuck off. But see, behind closed doors, they sell out their voters and their constituency. And what are they telling them? Oh, well, look, you can come to the jails. Just keep it on the low. So why they telling you to go out there and dry ice, and they flash and pretty and everyone else in your face that are being killed by Latino ICE agents, because 50% of the motherfuckers are who? Oh, okay. So yeah, again, they're hunting their own, but gaslighting you to get out there. And then you got the motherfucking insane clown posse, the NAACP, telling you, yeah, go dry ice. Don't worry about anything. Don't worry about the reparations. Oh, don't worry about your vote. Don't worry about Mama Kamala's policy. You niggas just do what you're told to do and fucking jump when we tell you to jump. Those days are over. Those days are over. And I don't care what people say, what they think. I'm going to keep talking this same shit until I see change. And I'm going to do everything in my power. Just like I am on the hills of NYU at 1199. I got time for y'all motherfuckers too, because y'all are clowns and y'all are playing with us. Playing in our faces. So until you start serving the people who put you motherfuckers on the map, y'all asses on notice and you're canceled. Straight up, you're canceled. Because this shit is wild to me. Y'all are protecting illegals, using us to do it. What makes you any different than the white oppressors that you complain about? Because y'all are using us to fulfill someone else's agenda. This ain't got nothing to fucking do with us. And they be quick to tell you, oh no, you a Jareer. Oh no, we're not black. We are Arab. You Jareers are not. So, yo, good luck on your battle, my man. Because, yo, I only get up and stomp for who? Motherfucking Americans. And, so yeah, you see what's happening though, right? They playing in your faces, but y'all still gonna act like y'all can't see it. And then you're gonna allow foreign nationals and naturalized citizens to get online and threaten, oh, I hope you niggas would die. And you're going to do this shit and act like you don't see it and just hide your heads like you don't see or hear this shit like a bunch of fucking cowards. I'm tired of looking around and seeing all these fucking cowards. Get up and fucking do something. How do you let someone play in your face and disrespect you in your motherfucking house while they use your tax dollars to take care of everybody else on the motherfucking planet. We saw all the figures that were released during Doge, how they were taking tax dollars to do studies on the effects of transgenderism on Ugandan taxi drivers. Diabolical. This is where we at. They eating youngins and doing all kind of other wild stuff. I mean, if you look at the Epstein files, right? In the email, they were talking about how, yo, we're out here hunting. And guess what? We're hunting. Niggers. But y'all worried about the illegals that the clown posse's telling you to go march for, but they ain't addressed not one of them things. So children are getting snatched off our streets. And let's be honest here. If 20 million of them cats came through in the last 4 years, remember what RFK said when they got in office? There are 800 of these kids missing. We don't know where the fuck they at. Where you think they went? You see, when they come across the border talking about claiming asylum and they're destroying their papers when they come through so they can lie about who they are, you can't track or trace these people. It's hard enough to vet them because most of the countries they all come from just started keeping records. But yeah, there it is. There it is. And before we leave, I got one more. Because I want you to understand exactly what and how. You don't even realize what you've been paying for. So you know what?
Can you explain how reparations were paid to enslavers at the end of slavery?
And this is something very interesting. The British had paid their enslavers with 20,000 pounds or whatever at that time. Well, the British government didn't have enough money to fully pay them. So that was part of the rationale for having the apprenticeship program, where they made the Africans work for a certain number of years after for free in order to pay that, okay? But actually, this is startling. The British government just balanced that payment in 2015.
Say that again, please.
They just balanced that debt in 2015. So we've all been paying reparations to the enslavers, yeah.
So I don't know what else to say, but if y'all ain't paying attention and you're not reading the room at this point, I honestly feel like you're just willfully being ignorant because you're scared to stand business. Because you know, once you are able to identify or see a problem that actually directly affects your life, you have a responsibility to stand on business. And maybe people just don't want to stand on business because it's easier to keep the blinders on and ignore what's actually happening. So y'all can continue to let these illegals and their cousins and daughters and papas and abuelas and abueletas and tios and nios and baba play and violate you and disrespect you in your face. I'm not having that shit anymore. And hey, if you choose to go out there and put your sovereignty and freedom on the line for someone that calls you a moyo, a mayete, or screams me "Hora la raza," or thinks of you as a charir or an akata, that tells me all I need to know about you as an individual. Because if that is not literally a form of fucking self-hate, I mean, we sit back and talk about, all these people practicing white supremacy. What in the fuck do you think they're doing? And then while they're here on H-1B visas and everything else, it's cheaper to hire them than it is to hire you. And most of them, if you look on average, they only stay 4 to 6 years and they rotate out. So they'll sleep in a house or an apartment with 10 of them motherfuckers in there because they know I'm just sending money to the crib anyways. That's why they always laugh at your face and be like, well, I have a home to go back to because you don't know who you are. No, we know who we are. And pay attention. They don't really care because they got somewhere to go back to. So while they come here and sue chaos, I highly suggest y'all pick up 48 Laws of Power and just start thumbing through it and seeing. Maybe you'll be able to see then. I'm sorry. Not 48 Laws of Power. The Art of War. Maybe you should read The Art of War and then read The Room. But there's definitely a psychological warfare and a psyop going on. And I see that Chandris Bangura actually dropped a video. She's not locked up, but I'm gonna actually make a video touching on that because there's something that she said that I can pretty much see that bitch and probably the most of these motherfuckers are plants because they're trying to get us outside. But yeah, I'm out. So on that note, y'all keep your eyes to the stars, keep that head on a swivel. Remember, realize, and transparency forces accountability. Hold these people accountable for what they're doing, because at this point, the fact that this planet is not rocking right now, because if you look what happened in the UK, they voted against investigating all the shit that happened with Prince Andrew and his name came up in the Epstein files, which tells me that they're not going to do anything because Epstein was clearly connected to every government and damn near every elite on the fucking planet, even your lovely, lovely Oprah Winfrey and Barack, the big-eared Kenyan Obama. Which means when the truth comes out, it could very well just topple a whole bunch of world governments and complete and total anarchy could ensue after that. Now, this is me all just thinking of the possibilities. Nothing that I'm saying is a fact, and I can't say that it's so. But these are things to think about, ladies and gentlemen. But yeah, if y'all okay with being played, that's cool. But for those of you that are, if you actually know me, lose my math, lose any memory of existence of me, because it's crazy to sit back and watch, especially the men that when I was a child told me what it was to be who we are now making concessions and excuses for being violated. And they're saying and doing the same things about us that I was taught when I was a kid that we had to stand on business when the white man was doing it. Saying that we were ignorant and we were this and we were lazy and we didn't work. Well, that sounds like a fucking African or somebody out of the Caribbean or South America, Latin America now. And tell me I'm lying. Please, I mean, if I am, correct me. But yeah, I'm out, yo. Eyes to the stars, head on a swivel. Yeah.